Good afternoon and welcome to our podcast today. We're so glad that you were able to join us again. I have a very special guest with me today, Monica, who is one of our caregivers here at Gracefully Found Care Home, a very happy place to be. And Monica's going to help me today by talking about things that she can see that I can't see, because I see things from the inside out. She sees things from the outside in. And that's things like the emotional, the psychological, and the physical issues that we deal with on a daily basis. So Monica, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Robbie Murphy. Appreciate it.
It's definitely a pleasure. So what are some of the things when we talk about emotional? What are some of the things that you believe that you see that I don't?
I think it's the emotional roller coaster that, a lot of patients go through. I think some of it is when we have self-doubt, when we've had a hard day, my job is not only to care for you, but to keep your spirits up, because I think that that's an important part of your recovery.
Good point.
What do you think?
Well, sometimes I feel like I'm getting down, like I'm waking up to a new day, but sometimes instead of seeing it as a new day, I see it as a hard day. And I think that goes with the prosthetics. So just getting up in the morning sometimes is trouble.
And what I see too is that you wake up sometimes more sore on some days, depending on what kind of day you've had of appointments, physical therapy, occupational, and then the fun things that we do together. And sometimes you have good days, sometimes you have harder days, and sometimes you have bad days, but sometimes it's just moments.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're not a whole day of horrible things,
And what I find is Monica's always there to pick me up. And we laugh a lot. We kind of joke about that. But that laughter is very important in my healing process.
Yes, amen.
Yeah. So what do you see on the physical side?
I see the physical side is, mostly every morning we do a skin assessment. Mm-hmm. And before we even get any of our parties started for the day. And so we do a skin assessment, we check the wound vacs, and then we check any new bruising. We want to make sure that you got good circulation. It'll help with the swelling. And I only say that because the swelling of the stumps, sometimes it's harder to put the shoes on depending on how much you did the day before, and so on, or how you laid or how you slept.
That's right. That's right. That can make a huge difference.
Yes.
And sometimes I find, you mentioned about how my day was.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes my days are very difficult. But I will say for the most part, my days are a pleasure. And I'm very grateful to the staff here for helping me through that bad day. That's important. Okay, what do you see from the psychological standpoint?
I think sometimes that you see things a lot bigger than they sometimes are.
Oh, interesting.
I tell you that you have bad moments. You don't have a full bad day.
Okay.
But you sometimes hold on to that bad day. The word,
mm-hmm.
I try to cue you out of those things.
Yeah, you do. And you do a very good job at it.
Without being so pushy all the time.
It's like yesterday, I had a doctor's appointment. And the doctor's appointments are very tiring. I do have a wound on my sacral area. And I have a wound vac, so I have to go to the wound doctor every week. Very taxing on me. Just getting in and out of the car is difficult. And I come back typically pretty exhausted. Like yesterday afternoon when I returned, my legs felt like they were noodles, and I couldn't stand up. And so that was frustrating. But along comes Monica and the staff, and we had a party.
After I rubbed her down with Bengay.
Right.
So she could at least feel a little better. And I also came in, I did give you a little rub down. And then I gave you a pain pill.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
But it's not just giving her pain pill, it's giving her emotional support. It's taking the time to give you a little massage, you know, to help for the stumps not to swell up for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Elevate them for 15 minutes. And then you feel better. It wasn't magic.
And I don't think it's just the physical. When I have the bad days, when you come in and you're laughing, you're up, the rest of the staff come in and they're laughing. And like I said, we had a little impromptu party yesterday, and it totally made my day, no matter how exhausted I was. We had fun.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
And I was going to say something else to that too. You know, a lot of it is communicating with me also. You know, you tell me that you got to tell me so that I can fix it. Try to find a solution.
Uh-huh.
But sometimes I have to pull it out of you what's wrong, because you like to bottle it up. And you love playing guessing games.
Do I?
Sometimes we got to figure it out.
Yeah, that's true, because I have a tendency to hold things in, and I've always done that. So now when I'm physically, emotionally, psychologically challenged, holding those emotions in is not the best thing for me.
Mm-mm. But no worries, because I know how to pull them right on out. I know how to play that guessing game pretty good.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about the emotional, psychological, or physical?
I think that when you're not strong, lean on someone stronger. You know, I think the other thing is that bad times are just moments. They're not days. You know, it's going to pass.
Good.
And it's going to get better.
Good.
And something else I think is very important is that sadness is contagious.
Uh-huh.
But so is happiness.
So is happiness.
And you try to spread that happiness, because it'll just spread more.
Uh-huh.
And just like a wildflower.
That's right. Now I'd like to talk a little about phantom pain. When I first had my left leg amputated, that was the first one, I told my sister, I said, Diane, go scratch my left great toe. It's itching like crazy. She walked down to the foot of the bed and did the covers, and she said, baby, you don't have a great toe. That was just some of the humor. And then Monica, I told her a couple of days ago.
Yes.
I said, my right ankle is itching. Scratch it. And I'll let you take it from there.
So I ran over there to where Robbie is, and I started scratching. And Abigail, another coworker of ours, said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I'm scratching her ankle. I was scratching the back of her knee. I said, isn't this considered the ankle now?
Because everything else is gone. Yeah.
It's finding the humor.
We've got to find the humor every day. Phantom pain is real.
Yes.
Don't let anybody tell you it's not there. I've taught about it. I've read about it. As a professor of nursing, I've talked about it immensely. But until I was going through it, I had no idea how totally real it is. Sometimes, especially with my right leg now, I have pretty bad phantom pain. And months ago, to try to treat my right leg, they amputated my toes from the great toe to the little toe, trying to catch the gangrene. Well, of course, it didn't work. And I have to tell you, the phantom pain that I have is as though I have a fresh incision in that area. It's very painful. So don't let anyone tell you that that pain is not real. There are times when I feel like I have a foot, especially on my right leg for some reason. And sometimes people will come up and touch my foot, and I go, "Are you touching my foot?" And they go, "Yes, I am." Well, I don't have a foot. I know there's nothing to scratch, but I still feel as though there's a foot there. Very interesting process.
Does it ever go away?
Yeah, it can last anywhere from weeks to years.
Wow.
Yeah, and what it is your brain saying, well, that leg's been there for 73 years. It's still there. I'm not going to let it go.
Is there anything that you do that can help you get rid of it or make it go away?
Well, one of the things everyone will tell you is to desensitize the leg.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, the stump, what you want to do is beat it, it sounds terrible, but hit it against the bed, hit it against the other leg, the other stump, because what you're doing is impacting it, and you're telling that brain, it's still, my leg is here, but my foot isn't. So it's called desensitization. Very helpful. And that's what I get my phantom pain mostly at night. And so that's what I'll do.
That's good information.
Thank you.
I didn't know that. I seen you doing it before once, and I wondered what it was that you were doing.
Yeah, trying to get rid of the pain. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about, Monica? Anything else that you've seen in caring for me that might be interesting for our audience?
I think one of the things that we talked about was, what people can do if they didn't have, maybe somebody caring for them.
Good point.
Is something that we want to talk about. What is it that you could suggest, that could help, or how do people get help?
Well, that's a good point. And, everyone should try to have someone to support them and to care for them in the bad times. And it's hard. I mean, if you're not married, if you don't have any family around, it's hard to find that support person. But just remember, there are nursing agencies that can help you. They can provide daily care. They can provide meal service. So there are those entities out there that can help you. But that's a tough one, very tough one.
I think it's important that that people get a circle, a group, a support team, even if it's the neighbor, but I think that's one of the most important things is, getting the support. And if you don't have a mentally support, maybe helping by writing or reading or getting something purposeful like you and this podcast.
Journaling is always nice. Yeah, when you get home from the hospital after your amputation, you are going to need extra help. Sometimes, depending on the level of the amputation, you might need help in dressing. You might need help in grooming and showering. And so try to find somebody that can be in that circle of support. Good point, Monica.
I do think that's important. Thank you for having me, Robbie. It's been a pleasure to be here.
It's been a pleasure to have you, Monica. We're going to go further and laugh the afternoon away. Just remember one thing. No matter how you feel, get up, dress up, show up, and never give up.
Amen.
Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, listen, by the way, I would like very much for some of you to write comments at the bottom of the page about maybe how you've been impacted, how you feel, what's going on in your life. Those are things that I would like to hear. I appreciate your watching the show, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.